Hey, what's going on, everybody? Ryan Weber here with Fittynomics.com. Today I'm at Anytime Fitness, Chesterland, Ohio, sitting here with lead trainer Nick Oskowski. Nick and I have been friends for several years. He's a great guy. He's a pretty big guy. Probably don't want to mess with him, but we'll get right to it. Nick, why don't you go ahead and give us a little bit of background about yourself, what you're doing here, and we'll start with that.
Sure. I've been training really for about 13 years now. I started, really how it all began was back in the day. I had this dude when I was real young. You know, he was the kind of guy that always picked on you. You know, he was kind of the bully. And that's really what inspired me, because you know, he made some fat comments to me, and I think that's what really inspired me to to get fit. My dad had some equipment in the house, and I started there, and as I grew up, I got more and more engaged in fitness, and I made it my career back in 2004, and I got certifications in multiple different places. And I built a really good clientele, just from hands-on training. That's how you become a good trainer, just from training people. You can't become a great trainer just from reading a book. And I think that's what transcended into my clientele was you just you build relationships, and you treat people right. You give them results, and that's that's really how I got started into the training industry.
So how many years have you been training now?
All in all, it's been about 13 years that I've been training. How long I've been licensed has been since 2004. Back in the day, the licensing and certifications, they weren't sticklers. Like when you were at Bally's or some of those places, they have in-house certifications. So you really didn't need to have a certification earlier on to work as a trainer for some companies. So I didn't even really get certified until 2004. But it's actually great, because going into a certification, you have so much hands-on experience, and it made it easy.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, because I know you personally, I know you have a little bit of a celebrity status. You want to talk about that for a couple of minutes? What happened?
Yeah. It was really cool. What I did was I was personal training in Rocky River, and I met Maureen Kyle, who's a reporter there. And I didn't even know she was a reporter, actually. I just gave her great service. I treated her right. I gave her great training, and she had asked me if I'd be interested in doing what's called their Fit Friday, was the show that WKYC Channel 3 had, where I would give fitness tips. I would train reporters or just regular people every single Friday live, and it was an awesome opportunity. I mean, it wasn't paid, but it was a great opportunity to get yourself out there. And through that, after having done that, I built relationships with a lot of the news team throughout WKYC, especially like Holly Strano, Tom Meyer, Mark Nolan, those types of people. And now, having done that for 3 years, I'm the actual salaried employee there. Really, I'm a station personal trainer there, and that's really, I think, what gave me an edge over a lot of my other trainers out there.
Sure.
You have to have credibility, people who can vouch for you. You can show that you have a track record. You're not just Joe Schmo off the street.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Show for it.
So I think really between the WKYC thing and the reality show here from the Newlyweds that we were on, that really helped.
Right.
That was on ABC a couple years back. And it's just a combination of those types of things.
Right. Now, when we walk into a gym and you work with a personal trainer, everybody's going to have a different style, a different philosophy in how they're going to work out, and it's kind of how it pertains to their life in general. So Trinity Training Systems, that's your company, correct?
Yeah.
How would you pretty much say, how would you sum that up in a couple of words, your philosophy behind working out, health, fitness, nutrition?
Well, it's a culmination of things. I think that we work mind, body, and spirit. I think that we stand on a couple things, like making sure that we work with basic training principles, things that are easily duplicatable and are easy for people to use, because not everybody can afford to work with a trainer 5 days a week.
Right.
The second thing is with the nutritional stuff, we keep things more of like a skeleton. I don't do calorie counting diets. We do some healthy eating. We teach meal frequency and just making good choices. And then, on the spiritual side of things, Trinity Training Systems is a Christian company. My dad is a pastor in Southern Florida, and that's how my inspiration through creating Trinity Training Systems was from that. So, it's not that every single person that I come across, am I shoving Christianity down their throat,
Right.
but there's times in people's lives I become really your therapist.
Yes,
you tell
I say
me,
that all the time.
You tell me things you would never tell anybody else.
You're right.
Okay, so my job, is when you're in need, if you need some spiritual truths, I give it to you.
Right.
So that's what Trinity Training Systems really is.
No, that's pretty cool. That's really cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. When you work with somebody one-on-one, a lot of the times, the training sometimes, the person will start talking and start, like I said, tell you things that are just so personal, so deep, kind of like, whoa. The first couple of times you hear this, you're not really sure how to handle it, but obviously with the background like yourself, you are pretty well prepared to handle that.
Yeah, I mean, when you get people to tell you, hey, I'm thinking about leaving my spouse, what do you think I should do? At times you're like, look, I'm not the right person to be asking that question. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, people will honestly tell you things that they would never tell another soul. And it's cool though. So as long as your character's intact and you're a good person and your moral compass is strong, you're a good trainer.
And obviously all that comes out in your training and how you deal with your clients, right?
It is.
Okay,
Absolutely.
great. Now I heard a little bit about you got this new pregnancy training program coming out, DVD format.
Yep.
I haven't heard much about it. I'm sure the audience would love definitely to hear about it. So why don't you talk a little bit more about that? And that's definitely, I think, something that's very confusing. If you have your wife's pregnant or expecting, and you still want to eat a certain way, you want to be healthy, you still want to work out, that whole 9 months of kind of eating for two, maybe sacrificing yourself, giving of yourself a little bit more. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different angles. So yeah, definitely talk about that a little bit.
Well, I think the reason there's a need for it is because the obesity rate in the United States is so high, and there's issues with infertility there. So women are having a harder time even just conceiving and getting pregnant. And then once they're pregnant, you don't know how to dispel all of these myths. What's true, what's not true. Everybody, the grocery store clerks telling you what to do, what not to do. So you need to have some clear, concrete, principles that you can work with that are facts. And then post-pregnancy, what can you do? When can you start if you're breastfeeding, not breastfeeding? So I teamed up with some experts. Dr. Samir Huja from University Hospitals. He will lay out basically like all of his medical expertise. So he will tell you what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, what to look out for in pre-pregnancy, pregnancy, and post-pregnancy. So we cover before, during, and after. We have a nutritionist, Ann Thacker, and she's excellent. So her nutritional guidance is based very specifically for each of those phases, even the trimesters. When should you start eating more calories, in what stages of the pregnancy, and even in the post-pregnancy. If you're breastfeeding, you should have a little bit more. If you're not, a little bit less. So we combine that along with my training, which is, you have no idea how important it is to have a very specific protocol for the training. In the pre-pregnancy stage, it's about getting women fit so that you have better chances of getting pregnant, you're healthier, creating a better environment. First trimester, not much changes. You're just feeling like sciatica, back pain. Maybe you're puking. Who knows? You don't feel great. You don't have a ton of energy, but we're still working at a good pace. Second trimester, we're avoiding anything laying on your back. We're trying to keep you moving like we did in the first trimester, but we realize that now you're through that stage where you're not, where you have a little bit more energy, so we can kind of pick up the speed a little. Third trimester, your balance is a major issue, so we're having the women train actually in chairs using bands.
Okay.
More time under tension, but we're keeping muscle activated, and that's the key. So you're not going to jump into your third trimester and make leaps and bounds in strength and conditioning. You're going to maintain everything that you work through pre-pregnancy first and second, so that after you have your baby, we can rebound you, quickly. So it's a combination of those things.
Now, I heard a couple of maybe they're myths. I'm not really sure if they hold any kind of valid explanation or not. But somebody said, cardio. Do you focus on a lot of cardio when you're doing the training for a pregnant woman?
Well, it's we use more of in the beginning stages more of the high intensity interval training. It's a combination of the kettlebells, bands, and some dumbbells. So we're not going to have pregnant women, running down the street. Not that they couldn't if they were conditioned for it, but we use a 30-minute workout that's of a look out for what you should be doing. The nutritionist is going to lay out for you exactly the types of foods you need to be eating and how frequent you should be doing that. And then my workouts are 30-minute workouts. In the post-pregnancy, it's key that if they're only 15-minute workouts, because once your wife or the woman, once she has the baby, you only have a certain amount of time between feedings. The baby's up every 20 minutes. You're exhausted, so the quick blast of workouts you can do a couple times a day.
Okay. It sounds like a great, very comprehensive program. It sounds like you really took a lot of time and effort. You've got some medical experts, backing you. You've obviously got 7 years of experience in the training industry. It's going to be an absolute great product. I would definitely consider that, and you guys should all look for it. In a couple of minutes, I think we're going to walk out there and give us a couple of just visuals on some certain specific exercises, just so you can have a little preview of what's on the DVD.
Yeah.
Before we do that, I know you and I were talking before. You are specializing more or less now in the pregnancy, but you also have a whole different array of clients.
Yeah.
One in particular, you have a whole bunch of trophies and pictures on the wall here.
Right.
It's a pretty interesting story, so why don't you go ahead and tell us something about that.
This lady up here, her name is Lois Hummer. She's 86 years old. She is a Hall of Famer in powerlifting. So it sounds crazy, but she's got a 225-pound deadlift.
Wow! That is awesome.
And she's got a 125-pound bench, and she can squat right around 135 pounds parallel. And in competition, you got to hold that, until a ref or a judge will give you a sign. So, I've actually coined her Lois the Beast Hummer, and you can see some of those lifts on YouTube if you just Google.
That's awesome.
Or you just go to YouTube and go to Lois Hummer. 225. I mean, she's 86. I'm hoping I can get out of bed when I'm 86. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah, so.
That's great.
Good.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you're cool with this, why don't we walk out there and show us a couple exercises?
Sure. You bet, man. No problem.
Okay.
All right, a quick couple exercises for the post-pregnancy DVD. I want to show you first thing is a clean press. So what we're going to do, stick your hips out, chest high, low back's tucked in. You're going to pull up the middle, catch it in shoulder. If you need to use a little push press over the top. In the video, we're going to do this about 15 times on each side. So kettlebell clean and press. The next one we're going to do, I just want to show you a couple quick ones, is a double-handed swing. Pulling it from your squat position, hips out, chest high. We're going to bring it up over shoulder. Let it swing free like a pendulum. Okay, don't try to control it with your arms. And you cushion the swing through your squat, through your legs, kicking your hips out. Don't try to control the weight with your arms. Just let it swing free. That's your double-handed swing. The next one we're going to do is a lateral lunge with the kettlebell. So stepping out to the left, you're going to step out, bring your kettlebell through, out and around. Full speed, stepping out. You got to push your hips out. That'll help keep your straight leg locked out so you feel in your groin and hamstring. We're going to hit those about 15 times each side. I'm going to hop down on the floor as I want to show you a side-to-side, a Russian twist variation. So pick up your feet, grab your kettlebell by the horns, give it a good twist. 15, 20, 25 on each side. Okay? The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you a half get up. Half get up, you're laying flat on the floor. All we're going to do, come up, bring the leg up, same arm, same hand. Half get up. Okay. One other quick exercise I want to show you that we do in the DVD. Okay, we use a different variation of a push press with your feet inside the shoulder, gripping the kettlebell by the horns with your hips out. We're just going to hit a push press up this way, out in front. The great thing about using kettlebells is it gets your heart pounding. It's very functional training. And you're going to notice that after you've done the first circuit, about 15-20 minutes, you're going to be sweating good. All right, guys, it's on you. Thank you.
Dave, thanks a lot, man. That was great. All right, guys, as always, Ryan Weber, FittyNomics.com. Nick, one more time, if you want to get a hold of you and get a hold of your DVD.
Sure. You can go to PerfectPregnancyFitness.com and also TrinityTrainingSystems.com. You can find me both places. Pick up the DVD. You're doing well.
All right, there you have it. Interviews with Healthy Gurus. Talk to you soon.